Hi, fans. Thanks for clicking the dreaded D Rose report. I hope everybody had a great holiday. Gas went up again, though, by 15 cents a gallon, you might know. Anyway, other than that, I hope you got what you wanted and was asking for. If not, you got the money to go out and buy it. WWE Studios recently applied for the trademark Gorgeous George. Noted back in October that WWE has got a movie online for a wrestling legend that was finally moving forward, as Josh Gad and Ryan Dixon were hired to write the script for the buyout that will look into the life and career of Gorgeous George, who helped bring sports into the TV age. Even though it was black and white, but still helped it. And WWE TNA ratings will be delayed over the weekend because of the Christmas holidays, which was all right. And Santino Marella was brought back for tomorrow. Well, today's Raw, and I guess there's a feeling that somehow last week at the Slammy Awards that it's possible Santino may start appearing more often on WWE. Also confirmed for Raw is the usual suspects. Get more into that in a few. But Santino, a lot of people like him. You know, it's a comic relief, makes people feel good and happy and funny and whatever. And a couple of nights ago, they said that Darren Young worked a 10-man tag match at WWE live event in Detroit, while partner Titus O'Neil defeated Stardust at a live event in New York. Well, anyway, PWI Insider kind of incorrectly reported the other day that Young was out of action due to a torn quad, and Young did reply with a tweet that he said Young indicated on social media last week that he could be suffering from a quad injury, but wasn't too clear on it. But he did do a 10-team tag match, which means you wasn't in the ring very much. TMZ, this is odd. TMZ's has a preview up for December 29th episode of Matt Weiss and Theo Vaughn's Allegedly podcast, which features The Miz. Well, anyway, the host asked Miz if any wrestlers have had accidents in the ring, and discussed, the discussion led to Miz saying Big Show breaks the worst wind. And Miz also said there's a lot of gas in the ring, and he wonders if the audience can smell it. Oh, please, I guess you probably could, ringside. WWE website's got a poll app asking fans who will be the next to join the main roster from NXT. Is it going to be Finn Balor, Bayley? Is it going to be NXT champions Dash and Dawson? With over about 2,000 votes, Baylor's currently in the lead with about 66%. Bayley at 29%. Mechanics have about 5%. Betty Skaglin, wife of the late WWE legend Arnold Skaglin, was sitting at ringside for their, I think it was Saturday's main event in New York. Well, WWE event in New York at Madison Square Garden. She often is at WWE live events when they're at the Garden. And Betty was greeted by John Cena and embraced by Ric Flair. Several wrestlers celebrated their birthday over the weekend. Demolition Axe Bill Eadie, 68 years old. Bill Goldberg, 49. And former WWE Tough Enough winner Andy Levine, 28. Bart Gunn, 52. China, 45. Watch what I say. Thea Trinidad, 25 years old. And Cesaro, 35. All right, tonight's Raw is taking place from the Barclays Center, Brooklyn, New York. Tonight's show is going to be featuring the return of Vince McMahon and an appearance by Ric Flair. John Cena's return to TV, taking on the champion Alberto Del Rio, and of course got the usual suspects. And several stars are going to be missing tonight's show, though. So I got a feeling there's going to be a lot of talk, maybe some highlights from the year. Because they got a live event at the same time Raw is on in Allentown, Pennsylvania. Paige, Wyatt family, Kane, and the Diva champion Charlotte and others are booked for that show. Kind of odd them doing that, but like I say, if they go looking back, over 2015, that takes up quite a bit of time. So these points are being looked at for tonight's show. The Authority strikes back at Roman Reigns. Will John Cena get paid back against Del Rio after months? Too little, too late for Becky Lynch and Charlotte. Family first against League of Nations, and positive reinforcement with WWE Tag Team Champions New Day. But anyway, Paige and champion Charlotte are not expected for tonight's Raw in Brooklyn, as, like I said, they're being advertised in Allentown. But it sounds like at least Charlotte could end up appearing in Brooklyn while another diva is sent into Allentown for the live event. As she'd been promoted for WWE Preview tonight, so they're going to have to slip in a replacement. Card is always subject to change, right? Ric Flair, he's booked for Raw, and oh, by the way, Nikki Bella found out that we'll find out at the end of January if she's going to be needing neck surgery for a bulging disc or not, which could keep her out of action for quite a while. And there's rumors that Nikki's neck surgery could be due to the way she does her rack attack finisher. Man, it could. It was indicated on Wrestling Observer Radio that while the injury is legitimate, there are something more to that rack attack aspect of the story because of the Total Divas, the show. And perhaps the injury has been attributed to the rack attack for the Total Divas storyline or something like that, but we do know, you don't know for sure. So they're going to say her finisher on the show, whenever it starts back up again, which I forgot, could be the way she finishes people, which could be the way that her neck is in that position with somebody on your shoulder and neck, and then pow. WWE website just asked about the most memorable debuts of 2015, which is Braun Strowman, Neville, Kevin Owens, Tyler Breeze, and NXT Divas, which is just about everybody. Wrestling legend Lex Luger is going to be appearing at Nick's Roast Beef in Philadelphia on January 24th for the Royal Rumble viewing party. Shawn Michaels is going to be appearing at the former ECW Center, or Arena, whatever you want to call it, for the first time ever, April 16th, for a wrestling collectibles convention and House of Hardcore event with Tommy Dreamer is going to be taking place later that night at the same venue, but HBK won't be on that. Rapper Fabuloso has a custom WWE bed made for his son, which would be nice. Big wrestling fan. Billy Gunn won his first indie title since being fired by WWE from being a coach at the Performance Center earlier this week, but he won it at Saturday's Maryland Championship Wrestling. Maryland, Gunn defeated Ken Dixon to become the new MCW TV champion. WWE Studios recently applied for a trademark called Clearwater Pictures. I think they kind of want to get their WWE off of the title of that, so they can come up with a another movie studio, subsidiary, let's say. This is an apparent company being set up to produce and distribute faith-based films, programming, mobile apps, and other forms of content. Let's say a spinoff, huh? And WWE announced earlier this year they acquired a faith-based film, Resurrection of Gavin Stone, with Shawn Michaels and Bill. It'll be released sometime in July. After The Rock closed 2015 with the cover of Muscle Fitness magazine, John Cena's kicking off 2016 with the cover, and it's been announced for January. WWE noted that the issue looks at Cena's passion and how it continues to motivate him. Cena explains that self-improvement strive to better himself is what keeps him going. Said the moment you think you've made it, you're done, that's when you need to go fishing. I ain't saying anything. Vince McMahon, like I say, is going to be on Raw at the Barclays Center. This comes after 2 weeks after Vince appeared on Raw, got involved in the storyline with Triple H and Stephanie versus the world champion, at that time, world heavyweight champion Roman Reigns. Vince ended up taking a Superman punch from Reigns to end the show. Well, he ended up on that curtain on the edge of the stage. He didn't look too good at that time. But Vince was added to the show that will go up against tonight. Pretty significant NFL Monday Night Football game with the Cincinnati Bengals taking on Denver Broncos, and it was playoff with playoff implications. And noted tomorrow's show will feature tonight's going to be John Cena's return against the WWE Alberto Del Rio champion. But I don't think the wonderful Colts here is going to make it. I think it's a 1 in 3,000 chance to make it. Anyway, I hope everybody's safe out there. We got a lot of flooding around this way. I know there's some horrible stuff going on down south and other places. Stay safe. I gotta go.